All right, ladies. So we're going to start on our backs today. And as you come onto your back, knees together, feet on the floor. So the feet are going to be a little bit further apart. Knees are touching, and then just kind of take the arms out wherever feels okay for you. Once you settle in here, take a deep breath in through the nose. Big long sigh out through the mouth. Again, deep breath in through the nose. Let it out through the mouth. And one more time. Deepen your breathing, slow down your breathing. Our goal is long, slow, deep breaths. In and out the nose if that feels comfortable for you. And as you settle in here and you begin your week, take a moment and think about what you want to cultivate more of. What you want to let go of, and how you want to feel. Take another deep breath in through the nose. Big audible sigh out. We're going to hug the knees into the chest, drawing a circle with the knees. And as you draw that circle, feel that movement in the low back. Take that circle in the opposite direction. And then as you come back to center, put the feet on the floor. We're going to come into a figure four stretch. Take the right ankle onto the left thigh. Flex the toes of the right foot so the toes are pointing towards your knees. You have the option to stay right here, energetically pressing that thigh away, maybe rocking. Maybe you'd like to instead interlace your hands behind the thigh. And as you do that, just try to keep the upper body as relaxed as possible. So as you settle into your version of this pose, take a nice cleansing breath and try to soften into it. You can be still, you can add in some rocking movement. Sometimes if you lean a little bit to the left, you can really feel it in the outer hamstring on the right leg. Breath stays slow, deep, and steady. We're gonna keep the right leg where it is, and the left foot's gonna return to the floor. Take your arms out, and we're gonna add in some movement. So you're gonna drop the legs to the left, and then come back. Maybe rock a little bit to the right, and then back to the left. So we're just gonna come in and out of it. No forcing, just kind of going wherever your body will let you. So instead of the stillness of yin today, we're going to play more with the movement of mobility. Let's do one more. And then as you bring it back, just unwind. Take the feet apart, let the knees fall together once again. Maybe reach your arms up in a different way. And we're just going to pause here for just a moment. We're going to repeat a lot of the poses that we do today. It's going to increase our mobility. And you'll start to notice that those areas just feel a little looser, a little more oiled, if you will. We're going to bring the knees into the chest, drawing those circles. Paying attention to this movement in your body. Take it in the opposite direction. And then bring it back, feet to the floor. Left ankle is going to cross over and you're going to find your figure four. We're flexing the toes on the left foot. You can decide to hang out here or lift the leg and interlace the hands behind the thigh. Taking a deep breath here, settling in. I keep losing my left earbud. I apologize, but that I don't know what that sounds like for you. So we're just going to take a couple of breaths here. Maybe you want to rock a little bit. Maybe you want to lean a little bit to the right. Taking a few more breaths. I'm going to leave the left leg where it is. Bring the right foot to the floor. Take your arms out wherever you like. We're going to rotate the legs over to the right like we're coming into our twist. Then you're going to come back, maybe come to the left a little bit. And go in and out, back and forth. Bring it back to center, unwind the legs. We're going to roll off to the side and find a comfortable seat. Actually, I take it back. I'm not going to be that comfortable. So you're going to sit up on your props and we're going to come into a 90-90 pose. And your body might not want to do this. That's okay. You can modify. So if this is really uncomfortable, you can take a regular seated position, or you can bring the soles of the feet together. So for the 90-90 pose, the right leg, or whichever leg you have forward right now, is going to be parallel to the top of the mat. So the shin is parallel. And then you're going to take the opposite leg off to the side. If you can get it, you want the opposite leg to also come out at a 90 degrees. That's very challenging for some of us. So again, wherever the legs land is fine. We're going to sit up nice and tall, and you want both of your hips to try their best to settle in. This is where it's nice to have a cushion underneath you. So options, maybe you just stay seated. Maybe that's enough. You might be feeling that in your psoas. We're going to work on the psoas a lot today. And then the other option is to start to come forward. So just coming into a fold, landing wherever your body will let you. Maybe you come down, maybe you stay lifted. I'm just taking note of how this feels in your body, breathing into it, letting go of any unnecessary tension. And we're going to come in and out of this. We're going to walk the hands back and take a little back bend. So just leaning back slightly, trying to keep those hips as even as you can. Long spine, deep breaths. And then we'll bring it forward again. And as we come in and out of the poses, usually the last time you're in it, it feels a little easier. Let's walk it back bend. Create some space. Relax the shoulders down your back. It might feel nice to take a deep breath in, letting that breath go. We're going to take one more round, coming forward. One last time, coming back. Taking a deep breath here, creating some space. We'll bring it back to center, unwind the legs, and just take them out front for a second, shake them out. And we're going to do the same sequence on the other side. And you'll notice that one side is going to feel differently than the other. That is normal. And you're only going to take this back leg where you can. So wherever it lands is fine. You'll notice that you might be leaning onto that right or left hip, whichever side you're on. Try to sink into that inside hip as well. And then we're going to come into it. And just notice how it feels. Notice where you feel like it's easy to move into the body and where it feels a little more challenging. How does this side feel compared to the other side for you? Just being an observer. We're going to walk it back for the back bend. Bring it forward for your fold. And back. And as you come back, just create some more space. We'll take maybe 3 breaths here. And then we'll do one more round, coming forward. And then walking it back. Deep breath. We'll bring it back to center. Take the legs out. Shake that out, massage it out, let it go. We're going to do some internal rotation of the legs, which is a movement that we don't do very often. So the legs are going to be bent, and then the hand, you're going to lean back on your hand. We're going to drop the legs over to one side, whichever side that is, and we're going to hang out here. So this leg is internally rotating at the hip socket. We're keeping the spine long, and then we'll do that on the other side. And we'll do a couple rounds. And we're just really focusing on this internal rotation, letting that leg be heavy. Switch it up. I like to move my hips a little bit, but you don't have to. So I'm sure to kind of play with it and see what works for you while keeping that length through the spine. And switch it up. We're going to do one more on each side. Changing, opposite side. This will be our last one here. And last one, opposite side. And then we'll bring it back to center. So we're going to take a comfortable seat, whatever that's going to look like for you, and you're going to grab what you're using as a strap if you have something. So we're going to do a little shoulder work, and then we're going to come to stand. So we're going to just rotate out the shoulders for shoulder rotations, but I want you to take a moment and stack everything up. So notice that your ribs are right on top of your pelvis. The hips are right on top of the shoulders, or I got distracted by that loud noise. The hips and the shoulders are stacked, and then the ears are right on top. So everything is just stacked right on top of each other. Relax the shoulders. Check in with the front of the ribs. Make sure that the bottom rib cage is heavy. So there's like little weights on the ribs, and the weights are pulling the ribs towards the hips. And then we're going to take our wide grip, shoulders down the back, reaching up, and then coming back just as far as you can. So it doesn't have to be all the way. Then we're going to come up and back down. Inhale, come up. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Feel that rotation through the shoulder. And just imagine how the shoulder joint is moving, where the attachment happens, where the movement happens. You can notice if you feel any tightness or gunk in the rotation. So really simple movements that we do every day. We want them to start to feel a little smoother. We're going to do a little bit more of this than we normally do. Notice if you can feel the scapula, which is the flat bone on the back. Can you feel it moving? A lot of times it gets really stuck and sticky. I'm going to take a couple more rounds. Take one more and then we'll let it go. Just, you can ditch your strap, roll it out, move the head around. Let all of that go. Notice if any other tension might have creeped in while you were doing that movement. And try to soften into it. So our next position is standing. We're going to do some different stuff in standing, but we're going to come up through a squat. So whatever version of a squat is going to feel good for you. You can come into a full squat. You can come up into a half squat. And we're just going to hang out in your squat for a couple breaths, wherever that is. And while you're here, I want you to think about how you can incorporate more squatting into your day. If you're in the full squat, you're going to press into the floor to come to stand. If you're in the half squat, you're going to press into your thighs. Just nice and easy. Come on up. Shake everything out. We'll start with spinal rotation. So you're just going to root down through the feet. Feet are a little wider than hip distance. Knees are going to be soft, and we're just going to rotate. So that side to side rotation through the spine. And let the arms just kind of be floppy. Big breath in, big breath out. 2 more. We'll bring it back. Now we're going to move down to the feet. So I know it's kind of hard to see what I'm doing, but what we're going to do is we're going to rotate the ankles, but we're also going to get the toes involved. So to start, you're going to press the toes into the mat. So my toes are pressed down, and then I'm going to rotate the foot. So I'm going to draw a circle, but as I come back, my toes will uncurl. And then I'll come back, the toes will curl under, drawing that circle with the ankle, they uncurl. And if you need to, you can hold on to something while you do this. But try to really get into the tops of the feet, all the way to the pinky toe. Our feet don't get enough love, and they do all of the work for us. Something we don't realize is if we're having an issue, maybe in the hip or the back, everything starts at the feet. So let's take that in the opposite direction. You have to think about it. Really go slow, get that stretch into the front of the foot. And then the next time you come into that forward lean with the toes curled under, we're just going to stretch. So getting that stretch through the front of the foot. And then we'll release that, shake it all out. And just take a moment before you do anything and stand. Notice how the two sides feel. And then take a look at your toes and just see if you notice any differences. So sometimes the toes will start to spread a little bit, which is how we want the toes to be. Or one foot is just going to have more color because it has more blood flow running through it right now. So our toes get all cramped because of shoes, but they actually want to spread. So giving them that opportunity. Then we're going to do it all on the other side. You're going to take your rotations, curl the toes under, and just take your time. Don't move too fast. No rush. And then we're going to take it in the opposite direction. You know, if you've ever injured your ankle, you might feel spaces where it feels a little gunky because that fascial tissue builds up around injuries, around muscles that are overtaxed, or maybe they've turned off. And then the next time you come into your toe stretch, toes are curled under, just get that stretch. And release it. Take both the feet to the ground, see if you can spread your toes, root down through all four corners of the feet, and then stack everything. So when we were seated, we stacked everything to the hips. Now we're stacking everything on top of the ankles. I'm just noticing how that feels. Now you may still want to use support for this next position. We're going to walk the feet in until the knees touch. So this one's kind of weird. We're going to draw circles with the knees, and the knees are as glued together as we can get them. Now, I told you today's class would be different, but I thought it would be fun. So just drawing these circles with the knees, which is weird and not easy. And then we're going to take it in the other way. So if you think about it, we tend to move in this plane, so our knees don't get a lot of this rotation. So this is actually lubricating the knees, which is going to make them stronger and more protected from injury. And then they also just move more efficiently. So let's go in the opposite direction. So we're going to do 2 rounds. We're just oiling everything up today. And then opposite direction. And then we'll bring it back. Good. Let all of that go. Should feel pretty good. And then we're going to come on down. So we're going to do 2 psoas stretches. So we've pretty much hit everything. We just want to hit here next. So we're going to come down into tabletop. I encourage you to support your knees for this pose. So you're going to want extra cushion. You may also want blocks in front of you. So that's an option for extra support. So what we're going to do is we're going to step maybe the left leg forward. And what the focus of the stretch is, it's right in this area. So you're going to feel it in different places depending upon where your body is tight. So the modified version is to use a block and to just kind of lean into it. So you're only going to come as far forward as you need to. We're going to always keep that front knee and ankle aligned. You can use the block for support. You can also simply take your hands to your thighs. If your knee needs even more support, you're going to tuck the toes under as you settle in, and the hips are going to stay square. So that left hip is sliding back, the right hip is sliding forward. Wherever you're at, whether your hands are on your thigh, your hands are on the block. And then I'm going to give you an option to take it a little deeper if you'd like. You can reach your arms up. You'd hook the right wrist, reach over to the left, and sink into that hip. I'm just going to give you a little bit more. And wherever you're at, you're going to take a couple breaths. You can always come back and come out of it. If you are in the full version, you're going to come back to center. Maybe take those hands to the thighs, stay sinking in. Hips square. We're going to come out and visit child's pose just to turn that off for a second. Nice and slow. Take your child's pose. And we'll float back to center. And then we're going to do the other side. So you only lean as far forward as you need to. Take that right hip back, left hip forward, and then decide where you want to be. Maybe the hands are on the blocks, maybe you're pressing into the thighs. So this is where we're going to start. Lots of length through the spine. And just notice where you feel this. Do you feel this in that hip crease on the left leg? Do you feel it on the thigh, the quad, the back? That's just a sign to you that that's where your body is a little tight. So we're all going to feel it in a slightly different place. Breath is long, slow, and deep. You can stay here, or you can take that version where the arms come up, hook the left wrist, and reach up and over. So when we reach over, we're stretching the psoas. It's that side bending motion that really gets it. And the psoas is the deepest muscle. It comes from the back, wraps around the hip, and attaches to the pelvis. And it gets really tight from sitting. So the more we sit, the shorter and tighter it gets. A couple more breaths. If the arms are lifted, we're going to come on back. Release the hands. And then very slowly come out, revisit child's pose. Take some deep breaths here. Lengthening the exhale. We're going to take some free movement in tabletop. When you're ready, you're going to float into table. And maybe you're going to take some cat and cow tilt. Maybe you're going to add in torso rolls or hip circles or a side to side movement. So just taking, I cannot keep that earbud in, I'm so sorry. Taking this movement in any way that feels good in your body. I need kid-size earbuds, apparently. We'll come on back to center. We're going to make our way onto our backs. You're going to have whatever you're using as a block handy and the strap handy. Try this again. So we're going to grab our strap first. Once you get to your back, we're going to stretch into the right leg. Add in movement. Stop in a second. So what I want you to do is find your stretch, soften your upper body, and if you can, straighten your left leg. So we're going to open it up to the right. We're going to do this slow. You're going to exhale, come back to center. You're using your core. And then you're going to take it over to the left. And you're going to come in and out, back and forth, nice and slow at your own pace. You'll just switch your hands on the strap, whatever way feels the easiest for you. And the next time that you come to center, you're going to hang out here for a couple breaths. And take both hands in the strap, pausing into the stretch. You can flex your toes towards your body. And then we're going to open it up, taking the strap into the right arm or the right hand, taking that leg out to the right. If you need more support, you can always bend the left foot here or the left knee. Bring it back. Make sure that left leg is straightened, and then we'll cross it over. You can switch hands with the strap. Relax the right arm. We'll bring it back to center. Slide the foot out of the strap and just let the leg relax for a moment. How does it feel? Maybe it feels a little longer. Bend the knees, feet on the floor. We'll take that full sequence to the opposite side. So hook your strap, relax your upper body as much as you can. If it feels okay for you, you can straighten that right leg out. And then we're going to open it to the left, nice and easy. Exhale for center. That will turn your core on. And then cross it over. Take your time. Do a couple more. The next time you find center, pause. You can always bend that right knee for support. Anchor the left hip into the mat. Open it out to the left. Exhale for center and cross it over to the right. Bring it back and release. So we're going to hug the knees in to the chest one more time. And we're going to draw those circles. Take it in the opposite direction. And then hug the knees in. Just give them a tight squeeze. Release the legs. Place yourself into your Shavasana, your final relaxation pose. We're going to do a little tension release practice. So we're going to tense the entire body from the feet up to the crown of the head. Curl the toes, squeeze the glutes, bring the shoulders up to the ears, make fists, clench your jaw, scrunch your face. Hold that tension. Take a deep breath in. And as you exhale, release, relax, let go. We'll do that one more time from the feet, working your way up. Create that tension. Hold it. Deep breath. Exhale, release, relax, let go. Let your body start to melt into the mat like honey. Let your breath move freely in and out, out and in. Every time you exhale, release and relax a little more deeply. From this place of stillness, come back to your intentions from the beginning of class. What do you want to cultivate more of? What do you want to release? And how do you want to feel? Take a cleansing breath in through the nose. Audible sigh out. Again, cleansing breath. When you're ready, begin to wiggle your toes and your fingers. Circle your ankles and your wrists. Maybe take a big full body stretch, reaching your arms up overhead and pointing your toes. And then eventually hugging the knees into the chest, giving yourself a big hug, thanking your body for being able to find this practice and participate. Whenever you're ready, rolling to your side, pressing yourself up, we'll find a comfortable seat. We're just going to take both of the hands to the heart, just underneath the neck today. You're going to gently press down, and then we're just going to turn the gaze up towards the ceiling. Jaw is separated, so there's a little stretch through the neck. And draw the ear towards one shoulder. And back up towards center. And draw the ear towards the other shoulder. Coming back to center. Chin is going to go parallel to the floor. Lengthen up through the crown of the head. Take a deep breath in, like you're breathing into your heart. Big sigh out. Next breath, reach the arms up overhead. Exhale, hands to the heart. I hope that you take this feeling with you off the mat into the start of your week. I thank you ladies so much for joining me this morning. I hope you have a wonderful week. Namaste. Thank you, ladies. Thank you for joining me. How are we feeling?